r/askreddit, what is the biggest load of bullshit you have ever been told? Make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel. We are only going to one store. My mom, wait here, I'll only be a couple of minutes, starts chatting with someone she vaguely knows who lived in your neighborhood 7 years ago for half an hour. Edit. I get it. This sentence sucks. I'm not rewording it. Dinner is ready. Well, I had an ex that cheated on me, but in her words it wasn't actually sex, because she didn't look at them during. Obviously that cleared everything up. I also had a different ex that told me she had learned that sperm has negative calories, so it's like extra healthy. You should have married that second girl. I forgot that I cheated on you more than once. How many? 9 times. 9 freaking times? Yeah, but it was on 2 separate occasions. WTF. True story of a conversation with my ex. Edit. A lot of people are asking the who and what, so I should clarify. It was the same dude. She just fricked him 4 times the first night and 5 times the second. Dropped to her knees in the mud asking me to take her back, lol, kind of impressive to be honest. My brother owns a hovercraft ranch, an ex-friend. A hovercraft ranch. The little baby hoverboards are adorable. That my crazy ex was pregnant. Been with her for about 2 months. She started becoming very suspicious of me, and I found out she was going through my phone, probably while I was asleep, because I didn't have a passcode on it. She would read my conversations, and finally, when she thought she had some dirt on me, she hit me with, "Well, who's Rebecca, and why are you planning to meet with her?" I responded, "If you'd read more of the conversation you'd see that I was planning on having lunch with her and her fiance. If I was cheating on you, don't you think I'd at least have a passcode on my phone? But you know what, we should slow down." Fast forward a week, and she shows me her sonogram. I know it wasn't hers, but all of a sudden she's pregnant. I decide to go along with it, so I change my tone and become super supportive and involved. Told her I wanted to go with her to the first appointment. She told me I didn't have to go, and her mom would go with her. Waited it out, and another week or so passes by, and she lost the baby. I tell her she needs to get the frick out to here, and I'm done. Makes for an interesting story. A kid told me he was playing Mortal Kombat on his Game Boy and a lightning bolt struck his Game Boy while he was playing, and he was then able to play as the dragon that's on the box art. Get the frick out of here. That's the most 90s lie I've ever heard. If we give you all a raise, it will bankrupt the company. Then the CEO gives herself a nice $1 million bonus next year. This one is kinda specific. For context, there are 2 types of lawyer in the UK, solicitors, who build the case, and barristers, who present the case in court. I decided to go down the solicitor route, which requires you to do the legal practice course, LPC, and then 2 years on a training contract with a law firm. Since I did a non-law degree, I had to take the conversion course first. Now onto the bullshit. The entire 2 years I was at law school, the careers department and the tutors only drummed one message into our heads. That the only way to have a successful career as a lawyer was to get a training contract with a law firm and qualify. That was all they talked about. I graduate, and the truth finally becomes clear. First, I learned that there are so few training contracts available that getting one is like winning the lottery, and the application process is a freaking rat race. Second thing I learned, this time through my successful friends, is that if you do win the lottery, working a training contract is such a thankless job, with long hours, way too much work, and no freaking work-life balance. But the third and most crucial thing I learned, law firms are the least efficient way to make a successful career in law. I've been doing temp and contract work for a year now, and my career growth rate is way higher than I expected. Plus, I have a fantastic work-life balance. My salary is decent for someone a year out of college, and I'm working with some pretty amazing companies. I've met some amazing people who like me started in law, but realized what a waste it was. What I'm getting at is, don't believe all the shit your careers department tells you about your career path. The world works very differently, and not necessarily for the worse. We here at insert high school name do not tolerate bullying. My sister-in-law was supposed to bring her kids and come for Christmas dinner. I wasn't planning on making a huge meal until my mother-in-law asked if they could all come. So I dropped a shitload of money at the store and spent all day cooking. When my husband's sister is late, his mom calls her. She claimed it was snowing with freezing rain and didn't want to drive in the bad weather. We live an hour away. It was unusually warm for December, about 56 degrees. I checked the weather app. Yep, it was 56 there too. His mom said, well, sometimes the app is wrong. So I called my brother, who lives in the same city as the sister. Yep, it was 56 and sunny. A beautiful day. If you're going to lie to me, at least make it believable. Diarrhea, the flu, car trouble, etc. Nope. She lied about the weather. We care about the work/life balance of our employees. Me, 90% of my job is online. I've been here forever, and you trust me. Can I work a couple days per week from home? Boss, no. Also my boss, everything is broken. Can you do this from home? Just this once. Me, no. Also my boss, I'm going to work from home next week. My ex-husband and his girlfriend told me there was nothing going on during those weeks they stayed in a motel together. Her husband didn't buy it either. A few years ago I was watching a video about inventions that were accidentally invented. I think it was by Be Amazed or something. It mentioned Velcro and other stuff, but then it mentioned how tea was an accidental invention caused by when a tea leaf flew into someone's glass of warm water. They drank it, and it tasted fine. Believed this for years, until I looked on Wiki, and it said that tea came around as medicine, and was not accidentally invented nor discovered. Edit. Whoa. I wasn't expecting this amount of upvotes. Thanks. I opened your mail by mistake. Mom. Winners never quit. When I was wanting to leave a job due to a toxic work environment. Winners won't stay winners for long if they have a mental breakdown from stress and anxiety. Ignore the carpenter ants in your house. They'll eventually die off on their own without need of paying for an exterminator. Tell me who was this stupid, please. A frickton of ants in a trench coat, pretending to be a person. Meet a guy through Yahoo Personals way back, when it was a thing. Talked for a few weeks, exchanged pictures, agreed on a date. He no-showed. I hopped online the next day to basically say WTF. He then proceeded to make up the most batshit insane sorry I've ever heard in my life. At the time, he claimed he was working for a large tobacco company and claimed to have a fairly senior role. He told me that when he was leaving the office for our date, the entire office was raided by the FBI for money embezzlement. They handcuffed everyone, and he was brought to jail and not allowed any calls. Claimed his father, who also worked for the company, had been stealing funds, and he was wrapped up in it. I asked him where he was right now, and he claimed he was bailed out, but under house arrest, and had FBI agents parked outside his house watching his every move. What the frick, man? If you thought I was too ugly when you saw me sitting there waiting for you to show, you could have just ghosted me. Don't insult my intelligence too. My ex-wife, who had left me some years early, calling me and saying how much she would like to see me again and how I was the only man she really loved. Turned out she was going to be evicted soon and wanted me to come rescue her. Told her, nope, you are a terrible person, don't call me again. Audi dealer with me looking at a CPO A6, few years old, a resmi red color, chrome rims, red and black leather race seats, upgraded engine. This one's a year older, but doesn't have a ton of miles on it. It was bought here and obviously sold back here. When she returned to buy her next vehicle, she was the sweetest old lady who only drove it to the grocery store and back, and probably to church. Even if that's true, it's such a cliche you can't actually tell people that. Nope. I love you, and I promise I will change. When I was explaining something about diabetes, a person responded by asking me if I knew that insulin medication was an artificial hormone that contained chemicals, and that I should stop taking my insulin shots and instead treat my type 1 diabetes by changing to a vegan diet. Bonus points to the guy that was adamant that I could cure my Asperger's with yogurt. At my old job we had a security system installed. I was the manager. I watched it get installed. I asked the security guy if it was possible to see when other employees armed/disarmed the alarm. to verify it on their time codes to see if they were coming in late. He actually laughed at me and said there is no way to do that unless he sits in the parking lot in his car and watches for me. I'm sure some security systems are capable of this, but ours wasn't. I relay this info to my boss as a sort of hey I had a great idea but it's not possible type thing. About a month later my boss tries to convince me that he could check the security system and see when people were coming in late. I remind him that I was there when the system was installed, and I also remind him that it was my idea and it wasn't possible. He doubles down and tries to tell me he talked to the security guy and the security guy sends him an MA each week of arm/disarm times for the alarm. I mentioned this to the security guy next time I saw him and he told me my boss was full of shit. Thanks for sticking till the end lads and ladies. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel.